Very good afternoon, dear participants. Pustaji is just trying to join. He's facing some technical glitch. So please bear with us. I hope we'll be able to start within 5 minutes. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Dr. Sweta. Good afternoon. So, Pushti ji is able to join.
Not yet, sir. Kapil is with him. They are trying to join. He's facing some issue. So, in between, let me welcome all the participants. I am feeling really good to see so many participants here.
Very good number.
Yeah. Very good afternoon, all the participants, and thank you for joining us. Also, we are sorry about this technical glitch and the delay, but thank you so much for your patience and cooperation. Today, by the time Christy sir joins, let me make some housekeeping comments. So I would request all the participants to please join with the mail ID and the name with which they are registered in the NIDM portal, because if you are using different name or mail ID, then it creates a problem for your certificate generation. So please do that. If you have joined with a separate mail ID or name, please leave and join with the same mail ID and name with which you have registered in the NIDM portal. Also, you have to be present in this program for more than 80% of the total time to make you eligible for the certificate. And then once the program is over, within 2 days, normally we upload the attendance. And if you go back to the NIDM portal and go back to that program itself, there you will find a feedback link and you have to fill the feedback, and then you will be able to download your certificate. So please do all this. And thank you so much once again for joining us today and for your patience. Let me just check if Sir is able to join.
Please see in the participants if he is there in attendees.
Good afternoon, sir. Are you able to hear me now?
Hello, are you able to hear me?
Yes, yes, sir. We can.
It was a struggle. Good afternoon,
Yeah.
Professor Gupta. Oh, I can't hear Dr. Gupta.
Good afternoon, Pushti ji. And but you are
No,
facing
I can't hear
other
you.
side. Huh. You are facing other side. We are getting your
Gupta,
lateral
I
view.
cannot hear you.
Pushti ji, we are able to see your lateral view, side view. Are you not facing to the camera?
Sir, are you able to hear us? Okay.
No.
But we can hear you, sir. I think you have to check your...
Hello.
Yes, sir, we
Hello?
can hear you. Can you hear us?
Hello. No, I can't hear you.
Okay.
Ask him to remove. Ask him to remove and use directly the
I
laptop.
can't hear you.
Sir, can you remove your headphone and use the laptop sound directly?
You tell him on phone.
So let me leave. Let me leave and come back again.
Tell him that not to use the headphone and use
Let
that.
me leave and come back again. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Hello. 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 Hello.
Yes, sir, can
Hello.
you hear us now?
No, I can't hear you.
Okay.
Hello. I removed the headphone from the mic, my laptop.
Okay, then also you are not able to hear us, right? But so we
Yeah.
can hear you clearly. Okay. So shall we just start?
You are able to hear me clearly?
Very clearly. Clearance, proper sound.
Okay. So I'll start assuming that you are all hearing me. I can't hear you
Yeah,
anything.
so I'm keeping my phone open and I will just give a brief intro and then I'll ask you to start. Okay.
So in that, when I speak, I'll stop my phone. I'll speak on
Yes,
this.
yes, you can stop. For now, you can keep your phone so that you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, sir. So, a very good afternoon, everyone, and I'm really sorry once again for this technical glitch. So, I welcome you all to today's webinar on disaster risk management, need for a more responsible, collaborative, coordinated action. So, once again, today we are going to discuss on disaster risk management, but this time we are going to emphasize more on the need for the responsible collaborative coordinated action. So what is the need of collaborative action and what is the need for coordination? So many times you might have, I don't know whether you were able to see that or experience that, but we have seen that in many of the cases, like suppose there is an earthquake and, people are just sending trucks of clothes or, unused medicines and all. So maybe in many of the disaster, it is the case that we are sending some relief thing, but actually we are not sending things whatever is needed in the real ground. So we are not knowing what is the need there, and we are not able to send the need based things. So there comes the coordination thing, and that is why it is needed. And many organizations, many NGOs, they are coming up with help, but they don't know what exactly is required at the place, and therefore the relief that we are sending may not be of any use. So that is why this collaborative and coordinated action is required. And for that, today we have our eminent speaker with us. I'll come to our eminent speaker, but before that, I would like to request Professor Anil K. Gupta, sir, who is the head of the ECDRM division and IDM, to briefly give his remarks about today's webinar. So over to you, please.
Thank you, Dr. Shweta. I'll be very brief because now Prushtiji has been able to join. Listen to him.
I can't hear Professor Gupta at all.
Yeah, few lines of prelude. In the paradigm shift of disaster from disaster response and relief to disaster risk reduction, people started saying that relief is no more important, which is not at all correct. Relief, disaster relief and emergency response will always remain very important aspect of disaster management and disaster risk reduction. Only thing that when we say paradigm shift, so paradigm shift brings the things more proactive. It means the preparedness has to be so effective, so coordinated, well in advance, tested, tried, well written, that the response is much more effective. And emergency response involves a lot of logistics, lot of coordination among the different institutions, different agencies, government and non-government actors, and many things. But how do we prepare for this well in advance? Prostigi, NM Prostigi is a real disaster manager with experience of over 35 or more than 35 years experience in really handling the disasters on ground. He has handled major disasters like Bhuj earthquake, Orissa super cyclone, the very, very large scale disasters that India faced. And his experience since then, he has been contributing and is still also very active in the area of DRR, and he always supports innovations. So very interesting occasion is there for all of us to listen to Sri Pushtiji. So I would request Dr. Bhatia to invite Pushtiji for his talk.
Thank you so much, sir, for your brief and wonderful remarks. Now, before we
I can't
call
hear anything.
Christy, sir. So before we call Prustiji, I'll just give a brief intro of him. So Prustiji is the Chief Mentor cum Director at Center for Development and Disaster Management Support Services. And he has over 35 years of experience in holding in country as well as overseas positions of importance in government, non-government, social development, disaster management, and corporate organizations, engineering and management as educational background, and several multidisciplinary training in India and abroad. Part of a selected global team of eminent persons in the area of disaster management involved in the making of sphere standards for disaster management. He is the founder chairperson of Sphere India, which is a national coalition of disaster management organizations to promote collaborative action by government and non-government organizations, and advocating quality and accountability in disaster management, and is instrumental in the design and piloting of incident response system in India. He is also a member of several committees, core groups, task forces set up by NDMA, NIDM, and MHA in the areas of disaster management. And he have been a trainer in various areas of disaster management. He has contributed significantly to the evolution of holistic and multidisciplinary approach and innovations in disaster management nationally as well as internationally. So, this is a very brief introduction about Sir. So I will not go into more detail. Rather, I will request Sir to kindly share his experiences with our participants today. Over to you, Sir, and most welcome to today's webinar.
Thank you, Sweta. I'm sorry I have to make this one-way communication. My system, I think there's some technical glitch, so I am not able to hear any of you. But let me make this attempt at least to save time to share with you what I had wanted to share. Today's topic is that risk management, risk reduction, responsible need for responsible, collaborative, and coordinated action. So I'll take it in parts. First, I'll talk about the risk management. Then I'll talk about responsible risk management. Then I'll talk about collaborative and coordinated action. So this next half an hour or so talk will primarily focus towards in the context of disaster management education system. We have been always dealing with the disaster management through interventions. But my feeling is that while we do several interventions to reduce the risks and make it effective and efficient and all that, it is timely that we should look at the ecosystem approach. we should look at what are how the ecosystem today, and what is the best ecosystem that can be developed, what are the system gaps, and where the gaps need to be filled up, and all that. And they're all contextual. We are looking at Sendai framework of action, we look at international protocols and all that. But if when you move from country to country, state to state, location to location, there is a huge amount of contextuality that influence your way of doing things. That's why I say that in ecosystem approach will help us to make it more contextual. That means let us look at Indian ecosystem approach in disaster risk reduction, and then we'll be able to deal with more appropriate and more relevant manner. So this is the intro, and then I'll talk about the risk management ecosystem. The first element of risk management ecosystem is risk information. The second element is the where the risk is coming from, the origin of risk or sources of risk or the causes of risk, and that how this risk is mitigated currently, and what are the other ways of mitigation, what are the other more efficient ways of mitigation of risk. And to mitigate that risk, what are those things? Our system readiness is there. What are the system gaps? Where are the issues which are confrontations, or which are the challenges, which are the bottlenecks that we need to, if you look at, then our mitigation, risk mitigation approach will become more efficient. While doing all these things, we need not forget, we should not forget at all that the prevention is the best solution. So prevention of risk, when we understand risk, then we get the origin of risk and causes of risk, then addressing the prevention of risk becomes possible. So it may not be 100% possible, but it is possible. So we work on the prevention front, we work on the mitigation front, and we also work on the preparedness front. That our typical disaster management, risk reduction, risk management cycle always talks of. So my input is that we look at it in ecosystem approach, so that we start addressing it is in a holistic manner. Now let me explain you about the what we mean by risk management. What are the types of risk? I'll say that first types of risk is life risk, and we have in the life risk element component, we have life risk with respect to human beings, life risk with respect to animals, life risk with respect to the plant and other organisms. So we have done excellent work in addressing the issues connected with human life risks. We have seen that we have been able to reduce the number of casualties in any types of disasters and all that, especially in the flood, cyclone, etc. We have been able to do, even we have been able to do even during the other landslides and other cases also, we have been able to reduce the human life. So that has been to a great extent has been able to be addressed. But we have very little done in the saving lives of animal. The life risk to animals, we have not been able to address it appropriately. So that needs little a comprehensive understanding. The way we started looking at the human beings, the same way we have to look at the animals, both wild animals, domestic animals, and the other animals. So because it is necessary to look at the life risk with respect to animals, because they are a part of this whole ecological system, and then our biodiversity is dependent on the other than human lives also are important. Then the third, we have not done anything towards the life risk with respect to plant and other organisms. So that is necessary, because if we are talking about the ecosystem, then we cannot ignore the life risk to the plants also. So that, and we know that flood, cyclone, earthquake, in any disaster, we lose huge number of plants, and that losing plants, losing green space, losing the trees and losing mangroves, losing green cover. It also creates a compounded. It also leads to compounding risk. And it creates a huge environmental risk also. Therefore, it is time that we should look at life risks beyond human lives, that is animal and plants. Then the second types of risk is the asset risk. We have the asset, you can divide it into public and private. We have done quite a bit of things in terms of our public risk to public assets. We have created protocols, we have put design standards and all that. But the enough has not been done to address the asset risk with respect to, especially with respect to private assets. We have created design codes, but how the design codes are being implemented, what are the regulatory mechanism, how it is being surveillance is being done, what are the key hotspots where the system is not working. That's why my initial statement about that system gaps. And if we look at the private asset risk, the system gap seems to be huge. So that how that system gaps can be filled up first, before filling up, it need to be identified. So also that understanding about the system gaps, identify the system gaps and addressing that, how to fill up the gaps will be necessary. And then third component of the risk is that your environmental risk. And in this environmental risk, there are three elements. One is risk to soil, risk to air, and risk to water. Yeah. And in any disaster, all these three elements are hugely affected. And we have miles to go in mitigating the risk to environmental risk, especially the risks to these three elements. And in fact, the constitution mandates the system to maintain the serenity of soil, water, and air. So, in a disaster risk management, our fundamental duty becomes to protect to prevent the soil, water, and air from any amount of risk. So that is there. Lot need to be done, and therefore I'll urge in this platform that we need to work on this aspect very extensively. Then the other component I'll put as the societal risk. The societal risk has got several dimensions. The inequity, the conflicts, the lack of access. These are the kind of elements that create the huge societal risk. And disaster often compound this societal risk. Disaster, you have seen that disaster leads to huge phenomena that people say that we couldn't access these, we couldn't access that. That kind of dissatisfaction is expressed in a huge manner. The inequity, when we talk about responding to disaster in terms of recovery, relief, rehabilitation, there is also inequity. And inequities, again, it linked with the social inequities, the geographical inequity, the vulnerable locations, the support reaches the least access to resources in the vulnerable locations. There, the people are most vulnerable, locations are vulnerable, and access to support also is less. So these social risks and societal risks need to be handled. And the disasters also often lead to conflicts because of this inequity and lack of access and lack of awareness. So all these risk aspects are necessary if we are talking about the ecosystem approach to risk management. Then let me come to the three other elements that what I wanted to share is that responsible action, collaborative action, and coordinated action. Responsible action means what? Let us take that I am responsible for this. What does it mean? Responsible means that I am accountable to the outcome or the result or consequences of my action. That is the responsibility. So how we will demonstrate that we are responsible for our own action? Our actions are in terms of policy, in terms of strategy, in terms of our program, in terms of our actions on ground, in terms of our audit, in terms of our evaluation, all these aspects. So if we do not factor that responsibility, then we will not be able to address the ecosystem in a holistic manner. So that's why this point that whatever we do, when we do a policy, it should be in a responsible manner. And when we do a strategy, it should be in a responsible manner. When we do a program, we design the elements of the program, activities, and we implement the program, it has to be responsible manner. That accountability has to be demonstrated at all levels, right from the strategy to through policy to the program, through actions, and through even results measurement. So that is very much needed. We have been able to bring acts, laws, policies, and we have got funding, we have got programs, we have created capacities. But how all these pieces are getting fixed into the puzzle and becoming responsible, becoming accountable, so that the results are understood, results are measured effectively. That is necessary, and therefore there is a huge necessity for the paradigm shift in the risk reduction ecosystem. Uh, to this, I would like to put 4-5 sub elements in this. One is at the individual level, how the responsibility can be ensured and attempted and measured at the individual level. We have always discussed in the disaster management protocols that individually we should be prepared to like this, we should keep like this, we should move like this, all these things. But how we are doing it in a responsible manner, that it not only helps us, it also helps our co-travelers, our other like our society, our community, our neighbors, our environment, the all alongside our individuals. This how this action is to be done. So this is at the individual level, responsibility is necessary, and then community level, certain responsibilities are necessary to be addressed. Uh, Collective, this community level, when we come to community level responsibility, then it becomes a collective action. So that collective action, we need to look at what is each other's need, and my need. If my need, fulfillment of my need is disturbing the need aspects of the other, or creating disturbances into the need pattern or to the satisfaction of the other person, then it is not a responsible action. So whatever I do in the community, how it can be the best for all. So that is the way, that is the community approach that is necessary. So therefore, community consultation, community-based planning, community-based reflections, that whatever we do, it should be reflected, and then corrective actions to be taken, because community is a heterogeneous structure. So one size will not fit all. So how we are able to do things in a heterogeneous manner, so that it fulfills the need and aspiration of everybody in the community. And then third component, third element I'll put is the government. How government can be responsible. That like government policies should be responsible policies. Whenever it has to do its policy, strategy, act, or program, it must be seen through a responsibility lens. And when I say responsibility, that is the accountability lens. Responsibility and accountability are the synonymous to each other. So that need to be seen. And then fourth, the fourth and most important element is the business. And many times the business is insensitive to the societal needs, to the human needs. They are more interested in that the demand and supply. So how, while fulfilling the demand and supply, that's also a responsible action, but fulfilling the demand and supply and in a responsible manner, the collateral actions, the other associated actions, how that should also become responsible that need to see. So the business processes must to be seen through a responsibility or accountability lens. That is necessary. Who has this role? Who will be able to ensure that the responsible actions are being taken? These are your media is there, your social watch processes, your social audit processes are there, then your evaluations are there. But the one big thing that need to be done is the risk ombudsman, risk management, disaster risk ombudsman. You know, in a bank, your financial risk, people are putting into financial risk, and they to do that, some problems are there. Then there is a the banking ombudsman is there. Insurance, there is ombudsman is there. So there are many places there are ombudsman. So to address the issues arising out of that. So here in disaster risk management, we are also should look at the conceptualizing a structure like ombudsman, where the issues or the concerns are addressed. Because my action may be the counter to your needs. So how my action also becomes complementary to your fulfillment of your need, and how human action is becoming complementary to these environmental actions, to environmental need. So this mutual accountability that can be seen, and therefore there is a kind of a independent arbitration or independent assessment structure that I am trying to position it as an argument in favor of creating an ombudsman. So that happens, then the whole system will start becoming accountable and start becoming conscious and start becoming responsible. Then let us take a couple of minutes to discuss about the newer dimensions of collaborative action. You know, disaster scenario, the need for collaborative action is extreme, because your time window is very short, your impact window is very wide. So if you have to address this issue, then there has to need to be collective action. Collective action means the individual actions, community actions, government actions, and other actors like your business actions, because business is also a huge component of our ecosystem. Then on this, our media also is an element. Media has a role, and our judiciary system also. You must have seen that in the recent past that how judiciary has been able to address the issues of concern of people, and system could be strengthened, system could be readjusted, realigned to address the issues. So this and we have seen also how media has been sometimes play a very positive role, and we have seen also how media has also played some role which is not desirable. Like many times we have seen that media, especially in the social media, we have been able to, we have not been able to minimize the concerns or anxiety or the worries. Rather, we have contributed to create a panic situation. When somebody may agree or disagree, but definitely the proactive media and especially social media is often also leads to panic. So therefore, a responsible social media engagement is important to see that if I write something, if I say something, is it going to be a responsible action? Is it going to be helpful, or is it going to create a panic? It is going to create damage. It is going to create upheaval. So that is the kind of so how it can be more responsible, that need to be seen. Like we have the humanitarian protocol, core principles. We have said that you will never use the condition of a affected individual or uh, affected person, or for raising resources or making propaganda for our positioning our products or services. We will not raise funds in the name of people's human vulnerability. Those are the kind of principles that has been enshrined. But the role of media becomes very, very important. On one side, the media, if the media doesn't share, then people do not know, so the resource mobilization do not take place, knowledge dissemination do not take place. But at the same time, media can play a very positive and very thoughtful role to make it responsible. That's my submission, that all these actors in this in the society, they can behave in a collective manner, so that their collective efforts are put to use, and in the least possible time, the best amount of resource, it is monetary resource, it is human resource, or knowledge resource, can be made available to the affected community, so that the condition of the affected community becomes are able to be addressed systematically, faster, and effectively and efficiently. To do this collective action, then coordinated action. Let me cover the coordinated action aspect. This is important, that within the system there are several subsystems. Like within the government, there are various line departments, there are various ministries, and within the sector there are various subsectors. Subsector means your health, education, your livelihood, your several subjects. So disaster is such a phenomena which cut across these subsectors, or cut across all those themes. So how we will ensure that there is a common thread run along all these subsectors, so that we get a coordinated action. Uh, and this coordinated action can be addressed in two ways. One is intra-system coordination. That means, suppose we say that within the government, within the line departments, among the line department can be what will be the coordination. That is called intra-system coordination, and then inter-system coordination. Like I'll say that intra-government coordination, then government with other stakeholders like NGOs. What is the coordination? International agency coordination, knowledge institution coordination, financial institutions coordination, the other technical resource provider. Like in an earthquake, you will need huge amount of various types of equipment, specialized technologies, and all that. How the coordination should take place in that. So therefore there is a need for looking at this coordination aspect, intra-system coordination and inter-system coordination. That will be my proposition to all of you. While talking all these aspects, whatever I spoke in the last 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, today we are at a stage where we will be able to make it effective and efficient by using technology. And when I say technology, many people think technology means digital technology. No, technology is beyond digital technology and other technology, other engineering technology, those other scientific technologies. They continuously, every moment, there is new things are happening in the ground. And today, with the globalized world, it takes hardly any time to know what is happening in the northern part of the world, or western part of the world, or southern part of the world. So there has to be, the technology has to be seen as a game changer, and technology can help making our system effective and efficient, and it will minimize error, because today human error is happening on two counts. One is there is human error taking place because of poor knowledge and skill, and the human error is taking place out of vested interest. So how will today we are at a stage where this technology can really address the human error. If it is vested interest, it can be checked. It can, if it is a knowledge gap, it can be checked. It can flag that here is a knowledge issue, to bring the knowledge dimension, and the system will get improved or effective and efficient. So we must respect the technology in the best possible manner to make our ecosystem better. So these are some of my points. Any questions, Sweta? Because I'm not able to hear, otherwise I would have loved to address some questions.
Yes, I think there is no question.
I
Please
can't hear
take
you.
it.
You have to talk on telephone. Did you all hear me?
Yes, yes. So I'm calling him.
Yeah, tell me.
Yes, sir. We could hear you very loud and clear, and in fact, a wonderful speech, sir. I must say that we are organizing webinars and also frequently, but I will say that after a very long time, I heard something so concrete and so much. It was divided into different aspects, and aspect wise, you explained everything very nicely, and I have got a very nice full 5 pages note. It's so thank you so much, sir. It was wonderful. I cannot see any question in the chat box. So participants, I will give you 1 minute. If you have any question, you can post it in the chat box. And I'm sure the participants also have benefited a lot from this. I still cannot see any question.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'll be available to answer any question on my email or WhatsApp. So
Yes, so you
yeah, you
can
can share
directly
my.
connect with Sir also if you have any questions. But so I can see the comments in the chat box that very informative presentation, wonderful session, sir. So everyone is saying it was wonderful, and my comment is also same, sir. It was really wonderful, and basic thing is so nicely you categorized the different aspects, and you gave explanation for everything. So thank you so much, sir, for giving your precious time and um, help us understand this topic so well. And I'm sure the participants are also very clear about this. If possible, please explain about the system gaps as I missed it due to my network issue. Okay. So, sir, if you can explain a little bit about the system gap.
Yeah, so what I mean by system gaps, we we say that there should be a solution should be end to end. That means where it starts and where it ends. So anything that you want to address, you start from the root cause stage, and then you go with the entire chain of events, chain of actions that we do to get the best outcome. So from end to end, if you put it in a value chain, and identify the entire chain into a series of activities or series of elements, you will find that some elements are dealt very well, some elements are not dealt so well, and some elements are not dealt with due attention. So what are the why these system weaknesses are there? So there you find that somewhere this because of knowledge, it happens because of the knowledge issue. Some places it happens because of the lack of resource. Some places it happens because of inadequate infrastructure. Some places it happens because of inadequate policy support, or the system support, or the governance support. Meeting chal raha hai. So therefore, you'll once you understand that why these are, somewhere it is good, somewhere it is moderate, somewhere it is bad, somewhere it is not there. So therefore, the whole the system is not a seamless, efficient, and effective system. So therefore, before doing anything, I always tells that do is value chain analysis. Anything, everything is a value chain. And if you do a value chain analysis, you'll be able to know where the problem arises, and then you will be able to solve the problem. And that's the way, in fact, the softwares are developed like that, the problem solutions are developed like this, the research problems are handled like that, projects are managed like that. So the value chain analysis is a very generic thing. So to identify system gaps, you need to study the system, and system can be studied from end to end through a value chain analysis. And if you want to do the value chain analysis in a more technologically efficient manner, then your new ways of doing things, your blockchain approach is coming, and then the IoTs is coming. Those things will make our system analysis much more robust in course of time. And you will see that this the blockchain and application of IoTs, application of artificial intelligence, all these things are going to influence our work vigorously. And in the next 5 years, 5 years is a very long time. Within the next couple of years, we'll see our system is getting challenged and getting supported, getting empowered by use of technology.
Thank you so much, sir. And it was really an excellent session, as I can see in the chat box also. That is all the participants comment. Everyone is saying it was very well explained and very nice, excellent session, sir. Thank you so much. So today
Thank
we
you.
will end up here. And thank you so much, sir, for your time. And we really wish that in future also we'll be again able to listen to you. Maybe on some other topic.
But next time you set up a proper technical system, because
Sure, sure,
today
sir,
was very
definitely.
disappointing. I think
I know, sir.
yeah.
So
Okay.
definitely next time we'll take care of all this. Thank you so much, sir, and thank
Thank
you
you.
everyone for joining us. I will remind you once again, please go back to the NIDM website and give your feedback, and then within 2 days you'll be able to download your certificates. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a very good day.
Thank you.